This is 5 on your side at 4. Focused on you.
Right now at 4, a massive outpouring of support at the funeral for Crawford Bryant. The Columbia, Illinois teen who died in a weekend crash was laid to rest today. Thanks for being here at 4. I'm Kay Quinn. Hundreds of people attended a public memorial today at Order Park in Columbia. 5 on your side's Holden Kerwicki joins us live with more on this heartbreaking story. Holden.
Well, Kay, friends and family told me that 15-year-old Crawford Bryant was a star on the soccer field and had dreams of one day playing at the collegiate level. So it was only fitting that they celebrated his life at the place that he felt most at home. Throughout the hour-long service, friends of the Bryant family laughed and cried together, remembering stories of a teen who they said always had a big smile on his face. Columbia High School canceled class today so his classmates could attend the service, and many of his teammates from the school and club soccer teams wore their jerseys as a show of support. Though Crawford's time was cut short, a family friend told 5 on your side his life was a blessing.
We feel like he was a gift from God, and even though we only had 15 years with him, God chose all of us to spend 15 years with this angel.
The Metro East and the Columbia community is continuing to rally around the Bryant family. I'll have more on that support coming up at 5 o'clock. Reporting live in Columbia, Holden Kerwicki, 5 on your side.
All right, thank you, Holden. Hours ago, hundreds of people paid respects to a fallen Osage Beach police officer. Officer Felicia Carson died in a crash while assisting with a police pursuit early Saturday morning. Her funeral was held today in Lake Ozark. Officer Carson leaves behind a husband and 6 children. Her husband spoke during the funeral service.
My wife is the greatest police officer that I have ever known. She took her oath to serve and protect to heart, and she did it every single day, every single shift. She loved what she did, and she did it with a smile on her face and greatness in her heart.
Prosecutors charged Christopher Aaron Bishop Waymeyer with aggravated fleeing of a stop or detention of a motor vehicle causing a death. Now to a developing story in Macomb, Illinois. An hours-long standoff is now over. Police say a man who shot 2 police officers last night surrendered about an hour ago. Investigators say the officers were attempting to serve a warrant last night at a home near the Western Illinois University campus. Both officers were taken to the hospital. They've since been released. Western Illinois University closed both its Macomb and Quad Cities campuses earlier today following the incident. Both campuses will reopen tomorrow. An event just wrapped up honoring and celebrating nuclear weapons workers. Some of those laborers worked in Weldon Spring and downtown St. Louis. 5 on your side's Justina Coronel was at today's event in St. Charles County. She joins us in studio with more. Justina?
Okay, that banquet hall was filled with construction workers and production workers. Many have filed claims to get compensation for potential exposures from these sites. Now, the Mallinckrodt plant downtown produced uranium for the development of the first atomic bomb. And in Weldon Spring, there was a plant that processed uranium, and a quarry held contaminated materials. Now, these workers could be eligible for compensation through a federal program. However, recently, some faced roadblocks. About 5,000 workers from Weldon Spring have had issues when applying because the names and subcontractors weren't listed in a database. But an advocate named Denise Brock pressured the Department of Energy to dig deeper. And recently, the records were found, becoming a potential game changer for these workers.
They have been shipped to another location, and they have prioritized that for me. So I've actually sent them a few denied cases, and these are denied due to lack of proof of employment, and they will pull those right away.
Now, Brock made that announcement today to the crowd. She actually began her work because both of her parents worked at Mallinckrodt. Now, years ago, she pushed for compensation, and they won.
All right, thank you, Justina. Let's take a live look outside. The heat is back. Here's a look at downtown St. Louis, but not for long. Cooler weather's on the way. Weather Impact meteorologist Jim Castillo is here for Chief Meteorologist Scott Connell tonight. Jim?
Yes, you know, we did make it into the low 90s, but what we've noticed is the dew point is not necessarily too high, so that humidity level is at a comfortable level, but it is hot. So right now, a live look at St. Charles and looking west here along Interstate 70. It is mainly clear, and there is a Cold front coming our way, but it is moisture starved. Not a lot of moisture along it, so there is a chance of rain overnight into tomorrow. We'll talk more about that coming up in Maine weather, but it's 92 right now, a west wind at about 12 miles an hour, and that humidity very comfortable at 37%. Other area temperatures look like this: Chesterfield 89 and about 88 Sparta, Illinois, 90 Mount Vernon, not too terrible. And the forecast headlines look like this: a spot shower chance early tomorrow morning, basically. And then an autumn feel this weekend. In fact, it gets really chilly for the morning lows. We'll talk about that, plus a big warm up next week. More on the forecast in just a few minutes.
All right, we'll see you then. Thank you, Jim. You can stay up to date on our weather impact forecasts anytime. Just text the word weather to 314-425-5355. Now to the latest in the investigation of a deadly high school shooting in Georgia. Investigators say the teen accused of shooting and killing 4 people was investigated about alleged threats last year. As NBC's Dan Scheneman reports, investigators decided there was no probable cause to arrest him.
Mourners arrive at the Appalachia High School flagpole, adding flowers and balloons to the impromptu memorial, one day after violence erupted at the school.
And then we heard shots fired, and we ran back into the room, and we just all piled up on top of each other in the corner.
Investigators say a student opened fire with what authorities call an AR-style weapon. 2 students, Mason Schermerhorn and Christian Angulo, both 14, were killed, as well as 2 math teachers, Christina Irami and Richard Aspinwall.
Those teachers were heroes. I want that to be known.
Authorities say teachers quickly called police with their ID cards.
And they have a button on that ID, and they press it so many times, and it alerts us where that incident is occurring. We got multiple notifications as the shooting was going on from the teachers where to respond in that general area. It also locks down the school screens.
The shooter, identified as Colt Gray, a new student, surrendered when confronted by police. Authorities say they previously investigated tips he was making online threats.
Obviously, they looked into it. They found that there was no probable cause. A report was done, and there was no need to kind of take him into custody at the time.
A community must now endure sorrow while it waits for justice. Dan Scheneman, NBC News.
The 14-year-old suspect is charged with 4 counts of felony murder. He'll make his first court appearance tomorrow. 5 on your side will stay on top of the latest news coming out of Georgia. Look for updates on air, online at ksdk.com, and on the 5+ app. The shooting death of an Illinois woman in her home sparked outrage nationwide. Now we're learning more about what happened in the last hours of Sonia Massey's life. Ticketmaster under investigation again after fans end up paying way more than the listed price to go to a concert. And 60 years ago, Spirit of St. Louis Airport was in a legal battle to stay open. We'll show you the rival airfield trying to take its place.